Hey guys, so this is going to be a lower body stretch sequence that is modified, and this is for people who have very limited range of motion or are new to kind of getting into some of these positions. We're going to be using the help of a chair today. So I'm using my swivel chair from work because that's where I'm at, but this would be ideal with like a dining room chair that has a back that's about this height, and of course the standard 4 legs. So we're just gonna hop right into it. We're gonna step back from the edge of the chair and come into kind of a flat back position, and then we're just gonna start dropping one hip and the other by bending your knees. And this is gonna help to stretch the back of the legs and start to kind of get a little bit of rotation into the low back, but also stretching the glutes. So I'm going to do this about probably about 20 times just to really get some good blood flow and movement going on in a different aspect than you've been moving probably for most of your day. And with each knee bending, you really let that hip drop so that you get an extra stretch on the opposite hamstring. And then we're gonna drop the left knee, bend the left knee, and shift that weight a little bit more into your standing right leg. And you should feel a nice stretch going up the outside of the right leg into what we call the IT band. And you're just gonna stay here and hold for a little while. So most of the weight of my body is in my right leg, and I'm really active through this leg to help to encourage the tension in that muscle in the outside of my leg to let go. And of course, with any stretching that we do, we want to make sure that we're breathing nice and deep and that we're going right to where we feel the stretch but not beyond it. Just let the body unwind from there. Now we're going to pedal it out again, bending opposite knees. And then we're going to do the same thing, but with the right knee bent, left leg straight, shifting the weight over into the left leg. And this position also helps to give you a little bit of length in your back and decompress the spine. So the more that you're kind of pressing into the back of the chair, the more that you're gonna feel that openness in your spine. It's kind of a 2-in-1 stretch. Alright, we're going to pedal it out and then start to roll up nice and slow. You can walk towards your chair, come up nice and easy. And then we're going to get into the hip pendulums. So that's going to be right foot forward, left foot back. You're going to kind of come into a lunge position. And your legs can be as wide as is comfortable. If you're comfortable going wider, then do it. But you don't want to overdo it to start. So I'm going to start right about here, nice and easy. And I'm just going to bend my right knee while my left leg is straight. And in this position, I'm pushing the left hip forward and kind of pulling that right hip back very slightly. It's just to keep the hips level. And then we're going to straighten the right knee, bend the left, and kind of come a little bit back with your weight. So you're gonna keep the right toes, feet on the ground, and so that's gonna help stretch the front of the shin. You can't really see my feet right now, but my foot's as flat as I can keep it on the floor. Now we're gonna keep doing the pendulum. So basically, bend the front knee, straighten the back, straighten the front knee, bend the back, shift that weight back. And we're gonna do this about 20 times. And as you get more comfortable, you can speed it up a little bit, but even as you speed it up, you really want to feel like you're resisting in and out of the movement. So you're kind of like you're moving through water to really activate all of the muscles, the tendons, and the ligaments. The idea of this is to start to open up the hip girdle a little bit more. It does get a lot of the lower legs involved, but it's also just to be able to move the hips back and forth in a position that we don't tend to move them in all day. All right, now we're gonna come to the back knee bent and the front knee straightened, and we're just gonna kind of bend down into it and hold and breathe. And then when you're ready, we're gonna come back forward, knee bent, and back knee straightened, and then hold this position. And when I'm holding this position, I'm actually contracting my left glute in order to kind of encourage the front of the hip to let go. And you can use the chair in front of you to kind of press against it to help lift your rib cage up and get some nice openness in the abdominals, which is also important for keeping a nice loosey-goosey low back. When we have really tight abdominals, it really does pull us down, which then puts a lot of strain on the low back. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and switch legs. So bring your left leg forward and your right leg back, and come down into your slight low lunge here. And then we're gonna resume the same pendulum. So straighten the left knee, bend the right, shift your weight back. Straighten the back right knee, bend the left, and basically bring your chest up towards the sky. And then back to moving like we're moving through water, just getting blood flowing in the hips. And with each movement in and out, I'm really paying attention to the symmetry of my joints. So when I come back, straightening the left knee, I'm making sure that it's tracking with the ankle and the hip properly. So if you're really tight in your IT bands, the muscles on the side of your leg, then your knee may want to track more out. And so you can fix this by kind of resisting that outward pull and contracting your legs so that it tracks in that appropriate way. It's a little bit hard to describe, but I think once you get into this position and you're moving through it, you'll feel what I mean. All right, so now we're gonna come back into that bent back knee and straighten forward knee, and just hold and breathe. And if this is uncomfortable in any way, or you feel like your muscles are wanting to cramp up, just come out of it. And now we're gonna shift forward into the hold with the front knee bent, the left knee is bent, and the right knee is straightened. This also helps to get a bit of a stretch in the Achilles tendon in the back straightened leg. All right, now step forward to your chair again. We're just gonna kind of walk it out a little bit. And I'm gonna move the camera down to the floor so you can see the Achilles tendon stretch. So ideally you would come to the base of your chair. I'm gonna use the base of my massage table and just bring the toes up the leg of the chair, and then raise your body up with your standing foot. So as you do that, you'll feel a nice stretch in the back of the calf right here. So this is getting another aspect of the calf muscle. This could also be done against the wall. Might actually be better to be able to put the whole ball of your foot against the wall. Just for the purpose of this video, I'm just showing you here. And just holding for about 10 to 20 seconds. And then switching feet. The flexibility of our feet is so important for balance and also for equal movement to come up through the ankle, the knee, and the hip. And so when we have really, really stiff feet, it restricts the amount of movement that happens in the feet. So then the knees and the ankles and the hip have to take that movement up, which over time can really cause a lot of pain and discomfort. My right leg is always my problematic side, and so my right calf is really feeling this right now. All right, so I'm gonna come out of that, and then we're gonna go into stretching the quads. See if you can still see me well. All right, so bring your chair. I'm finding that if you were to bring your chair in this position where the back of it is like that, then you want to be next to a wall or something to stabilize yourself. And you're just going to put the top of your foot on the seat of the chair, and you can walk your standing foot forward or backwards as much as you need to. I have a rolly chair, so I can just roll it backwards. And then from here, we're just going to drop down a little bit. Now, if this is uncomfortable, you can also do this on the floor in a low kneeling lunge, but sometimes that can be really hard on the knee. So this is a good way to stretch the quad, the front of the leg muscle, without having to be impacting your knees. And as I'm in this position, to increase the stretch and help to relax the quad more, I'm contracting my glute and kind of pushing that hip forward. All right, now we're gonna switch legs, putting the opposite front of the foot on the chair, and then just bending down a little bit. If you have the flexibility to hold your foot, you can also do it that way and keep a straight leg with your standing leg. And as the front of the leg starts to relax, you can bend down a little bit more, but make sure that your knee is not in front of your toe. If that's the case, then come out of it, step your front leg forward more, and come back into it, bringing the hips further back so your knee doesn't go in front of your toe. And the reason for that is it can cause a lot of strain on the knee itself, and we don't want to end up furthering any kind of knee issues. All right, coming out of that, walk it out a little bit, get some good blood flow. All right, so the next one that I'm gonna do is chair pigeon. So you could do this seated in the chair or standing with the chair in front of you. You could also do this on the edge of your bed. So I'm gonna bring the outside of my foot up on the chair, and then we're just kind of letting the knee open, but make sure that your foot's flexed. You don't want to put the top of your foot on the chair or have it in some wonky position. The reason we flex the foot is to protect that knee. So then you're going to, from this position, just kind of stabilize yourself on the back of the chair and press that right knee away. Now, if you don't feel this, lean forward. And if you feel it already, just putting your foot on the chair, just stay there. Just make sure you're stabilized. If you need to, if you're right here, make sure you're next to a wall or a bed so you can stabilize yourself. We don't want to be trying to stabilize while also stretching, because then you could also end up with a spasm or furthering cramps. So I'm just going to lean forward, and as I'm doing this, I'm kind of thinking of tilting my pelvis forward in order to help relax these muscles, the external hip rotators, and get a deeper stretch. Now, if this is comfortable, stay in this position, but I'm going to show you the seated chair pigeon. So this one, we're just going to be feet flat on the floor, bring your right ankle up to your left knee, make sure that that foot is flexed, and then lean forward. And this may be more comfortable. Either way, stay in this position for about a minute more if you'd like. And I wouldn't say more than 2 minutes because you may get a little stuck in the position. All right, wherever you are, I'm gonna continue with chair pigeon because that feels best to me right now. But if you're standing, go ahead and bring that right foot back to the floor, wiggle it out a little bit, and then do the same thing, other side. Flex the left foot, place it on the chair or your knee, and then start to press that left knee away. We don't want to force it, it's just encouraging it to stretch away. And you'll probably feel a stretch in the outside of the hip right here. And then you start to lean forward and you may feel the stretch travel a little bit more into the outside of the glute. Stretching the hips has to be done really slowly because they have a lot of deep layers, and the tension building over time can really turn into kind of like cement. So don't try to push too far too fast, and just meet your body where it's at, and then use your breath to move that stuck stiffness in the muscle out. And if you can't breathe a deep breath in the stretch that you're in, then come out of the stretch a little bit, because you should be comfortable enough to really get that expansive breath. And if you're not able to, then you're too deep in the stretch. All right. So that completes our short little sequence here. I hope that helps you guys, and I'm always open to feedback, constructive criticism, anything that you guys would like to see added or that wasn't helpful for you, please let me know. Feel free to leave comments below and give me the heart if you liked it. All right, thank you.